just growing up, there's a stigma around disability that made me want to hide my disability or pretend like I didn't have one. And so when I went to my first Parameet and there were people missing arms, missing legs, like people in wheelchairs, people who were blind, that made me realize like, oh, I shouldn't be like ashamed of my disability or try to hide it. Like this is something that is super cool. And seeing like what all these people had accomplished, like meeting these Paralympians who had traveled the world, like swimming, doing incredible things, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to become.
Do you think that stigma is going away? Do you think we're getting better as a society about embracing, or do you think there's just a long way to go still?
I think that we are getting better, but I do think that there's still a really long way to go. Even just with accessibility, like you think of accessibility being a thing that's like come a long way, but then still like I go to places that don't have ramps or elevators. So it's like, even though it seems like we've come really far in like disability rights and acceptance and inclusion, I think there's still a really long way to go, and especially in sports too.
Yeah, and can you give maybe a couple examples, if you think of any, that somebody without a disability, it may just go right over their head, but for you it's like, come on, how have we not figured this one out yet?
Well, I'll give an example of sports first. I guess like when I was deciding on where to go to colleges, if an Olympian or someone who had the potential to go to the Olympics was trying to find a school to swim at, they would be getting recruited like super heavily, like people would be begging them, throwing scholarships at them for them to come to their school. But like for me, because in the NCAA, there's not like a point system for athletes with disabilities. Like obviously I'm at Rice now, like they wanted me. I'm super grateful to be here and it's been amazing. But like it was definitely harder for me to find a school than it would be for able-bodied athletes, just because there's not a system in place. It's not very accessible or inclusive to athletes with disabilities. So I like had to ask schools to go to their school instead of the opposite. That would be true for normal athletes. Just with accessibility and stuff, like I'll be walking with my friends, like on a sidewalk, I'll be in my chair, they'll be walking, and I get to the end of a road and there's like not a curb cut. And I'm like, how have we not? Like, come on, this is the simplest thing. Like now I have to like go around and find a ramp somewhere, So that's a big one. And then buildings, is it just not having elevators and that kind of a thing? Yeah, definitely like not having elevators or ramps, like in restaurants, for example. Sometimes they'll just be like one step up, but that one step prevents me from getting in, Right. People just don't even think about that. Or like even the littlest things, like places have wheelchair accessible stalls, but then like me going in and there being like all the stalls open, but then the person chose to go into the wheelchair accessible stall. Oh my God. That's happens all the time. I think it takes like talking this stuff out, because a lot of people see this stuff, but they're like, it's never going to be an issue. But hearing that is a huge issue. People just don't think about it. Now I know every time I'm walking on the sidewalk and I see, there's no curb cut, like I'll think about that, Yeah. So I think it's good to throw these things out there. Any others that come to mind? Yeah, there's definitely more like handicap spots. Like people will be like, I'm just going to park here for 5 minutes, run in, grab this thing from the store. But those 5 minutes might be the 5 minutes that I pull up and I'm like, well, my spot. You know what? They need that. They need that $250 fine for the handicap stall. I think that's it. You're right. That's a great idea. So roll out the barrel and get the band brewing. Life's got you down. Just keep her moving.